NewPoint Bookkeeping is a new point in your cleaning career. It's a turning point, if you will, and I want you to take this journey with me today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, in house cleaning, we get involved in house cleaning because we love to clean. We can make all kinds of magical designs in your carpet with a vacuum cleaner, and we can work all kinds of magic with a Swiffer duster in our hands. But when it comes to bookkeeping, our eyes glaze over, and all of a sudden our head turns into fog, and we're like, what is bookkeeping, and what does it have to do with house cleaning? So it's a dreaded word for many house cleaners because it's not our normal skill set. So unless you went to school and you studied math, and you're a wizard at math, most house cleaners have a problem when it comes to bookkeeping. So joining us today on the show is an expert. She's the CEO of a company called NewPoint Bookkeeping. And I want you to remember this name because this is a new point, a turning point in your cleaning career. Today is the day that you start loving your bookkeeping because she makes it very simple to do. All right, with that, please help me welcome Ashley Mulso.
Yes, I'm one of those weird people who I love numbers. I love helping businesses get their finances in order. So right out of college, I started bookkeeping for a plumbing company, and I was their exclusive bookkeeper. And also over the years, I've worked in a CPA firm directly under a CPA. So during those years, I got to see a lot of different businesses. I got to work with a lot of businesses who do their own bookkeeping, and I got to see what common mistakes they make and come up with some simple steps that they could follow that would make their bookkeeping much more accurate and much easier to do.
Share with us exactly, and I'm going to go way back to the beginning. What is bookkeeping?
So, bookkeeping is something every business has to do, and it's basically just organizing your finances so that you know the health of your business, what your profit is, or if you have a loss, what you own, what you owe, all of those things that you need to know as a business owner, and you're required to know at tax time to file your taxes. So, I always tell people when you first open a business, the number one thing you want to do as soon as you get that business license is open up a bank account for your business. And you want to keep those, your personal expenses and your business expenses separate. So for your business bank account, only purchase things with that account that are for your business. It's very common. I see it every year at tax time, businesses that have that business account, but they get their personal groceries, they get their kids' school clothes, they start mixing all those expenses, and it becomes very messy, very difficult for you to do your bookkeeping, or for your, if you have a bookkeeper, it's much more time consuming and expensive for your bookkeeper to do the bookkeeping that way as well. So that's step number one, is separate those expenses.
You just shared a very interesting word with us. Two words actually that popped out: taxes, number one, and expensive. You made the comment, if you don't keep it separate, it gets expensive. And that's scary because if we were to open a business bank account, that could save a lot of money in paying somebody to sort through the different receipts. And then I'm also guessing that tags into the next question, which is about the taxes.
When you go to do your taxes, your tax advisor or your preparer, they're going to want your income statement. They're going to want to know your profit and your loss throughout the year. So in order to find that, you got to know what your business expenses are. And if you have them all mixed together, your personal and your business, you can forget. It's hard to remember back in February if that was a business expense or if it was for personal use. And if your accountant is going to have to sit there and spend hours sorting that out for you, the price of your preparing your taxes is going to go up significantly.
So would you recommend that somebody that's just starting out as a house cleaner, that they do their own bookkeeping, or would it make sense from the very beginning to hire somebody that knows what they're doing?
You know, I know how it is when you first start a business, you're bootstrapping and you're trying to see, is this going to work for you or not? So, in the beginning, opening up that bank account and your personal account and keeping them separate helps a lot. Even if you don't start doing your bookkeeping the first month or two, just having those separate, saving every receipt, every bank statement that you have. There's some easy ways to do that. You can do the old fashioned way, just get the envelopes out, label the month, the year. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, and keep all of your receipts, all of your bank statements in that envelope, and label it. Another way, if you want to go digital, is I create an email address specific for receipts and bank statements, and then I just snap a picture. So if I go to Walmart, buy something for my business, snap a picture of that receipt, email it to your email address that's specific for receipts. So that's a way to keep them digitally. And then when it comes time to do your bookkeeping, if you're doing your own and your business, I think that's okay at first. You can do, I don't recommend going right into QuickBooks or right into an accounting software if you're new, because it can be kind of complicated. If you go onto Google and you Google spreadsheet for income statement, there's some great just free templates where just a spreadsheet on Excel, it'll be a template where you can put in your expenses every month, your revenue every month. Basically, your profit is your revenue minus your expenses. If you do those basic things, you'll be much more prepared when it comes time for tax season.
So if you don't start out with a software, would you say that you're like 10 years into your business and then you invest in the
No,
software? Or
no, I wouldn't say that. So I would only recommend this for the very beginnings. If you're a sole proprietor or if you're a single member LLC and it's just you don't have any employees, this hasn't even really become your full-time income yet. Maybe you're just starting out. That's when I would say that's okay. Once this becomes your full-time income, I would then invest in a software and really look into subcontracting out a bookkeeper. Of course, I'm biased because I'm a bookkeeper, but they're going to make it way easier for you. It's much more affordable now than it was in years past because of technology. So the price of hiring a bookkeeper has gotten easier for a business. But if you are going to if you're just a do-it-yourselfer and you're determined to do your own bookkeeping, I definitely recommend doing the training. If you do QuickBooks, they offer free training. You can do YouTube videos that offer you some training on that. But there are ways to do it yourself. But if you're not a numbers person and your time is more valuable working on your business, growing your business, then there's no shame in hiring it out. So,
well, that's another scary word, time. Like if
yes,
you're
right.
just getting started in the business, how much time does it take to do bookkeeping? Is this hours a week?
That's another thing too is I see a lot of businesses coming in January with a box of receipts, a box of bank statements, and they haven't done any bookkeeping throughout the year. And so you want to do it every month. And the reason you want to do it every month is because you need to know as a business owner the financial health of your business. Throughout the year, you're going to be making decisions. Should you hire somebody? Should you invest in a vehicle for your business? Or if you want to buy new equipment, new vacuums, and you're not sure if you should get the top of the line or maybe something a little cheaper. All these are decisions that are going to be much easier to make if you know how your business is doing every month. So you want to make that time to do it. Businesses that fail, I think it's like 82% of businesses that fail because of cash flow problems. And a big part of that is just being disorganized, not knowing where your money is going, not knowing how much is coming in. But yeah, if you spend a few hours every month sitting down, going through all of your expenses and revenue through the month, that's all it would take.
If you're a brand new business and you have no clue where to start, like,
Right,
okay, we just learned what the word bookkeeping means, and
right,
now we
right.
learned that we have to start saving receipts.
Yes.
How do I bridge the gap from saving the receipts to actually sitting down and let's say that I want to invest in some software because as my business grows and I know my business is going to grow, I would rather do the business end of it right now where I learn the software and I kind of get started and I figure it out before I start hiring a whole bunch of people and I get really busy and I'm swamped and then I have no time to do it. So how do I bridge that gap from the box of receipts that you talked about to getting this software and like how does that work?
Well, if you're going to do it yourself, you're going to have to take that time to do some training on QuickBooks just to understand how the software works. But you're basically the big thing, you are saving your receipts in case you ever get audited by the IRS. But the main thing you're going to be working off of is your bank statements. So you want to match with your bank. And that's a good starting point. Every month when you sit down to do this in QuickBooks, QuickBooks helps you memorize transactions. So you'll train QuickBooks to where, you get this bill from the electric company and it's your electricity. You'll put that in once. And then you can tie your bank to your QuickBooks and they'll bring in those transactions from your bank and you're going to categorize them. So you're going to sit down and say, okay, this electric bill from Black Hills Energy, that's for electric. You categorize that as utilities. And so every time they pull in that bill from that electric company, QuickBooks will put it in as utilities. But you still need to check this because software is not perfect and they make mistakes. Sometimes they'll bring in two things from your bank statement and you'll double enter it. So that's why you want to make sure your balance in QuickBooks balances with your bank every month. It's just like balancing your checkbook in the old days when we used to do that, you know. So it is a tough jump. But if you have that separate bank account, separate your expenses, do save your receipts, you're already ahead of a lot of surprisingly, out of a lot of small businesses out there.
So let me make sure I understand this. I think I heard you say automation. Like if I enter the information in my bank account once, every month when that bill comes in, it automatically gets sucked into the software.
And that does go on your Schedule C. And whether you use a program like TurboTax or you have a CPA that you use, then they put that information from your bookkeeping into your tax preparation. So
Well, Ashley, that's a no-brainer.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, but you do want to be careful. Say you go to Walmart and you buy cleaning supplies at Walmart and you categorize that as cleaning supplies. But the next time you go to Walmart, you're actually buying something that's for your office, like a computer. I don't know. So they will categorize that as cleaning supplies. QuickBooks will, because last time it was cleaning supplies. So you might have to watch that a little. If, you know, every time you pay your utility bill, it's probably always utilities, but places like Walmart, it might be different every time you go, what category that goes in.
This is fascinating. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Tell us about NewPoint Bookkeeping. What is it? How did it all come to be? And how can our house cleaners tap into your services if they need some help?
Yes, absolutely. So, NewPoint Bookkeeping, I'm a virtual bookkeeper, so I can work with businesses from all throughout the US. And I set you up with QuickBooks Online. That's what I like to work in. And with QuickBooks Online, you can log in anytime, anywhere you're at, and I can also log in. So you can always see up to date fresh bookkeeping. It's going to let you know how much your business is making, the health of your business, and you'll just be completely ready at tax time. You won't have to stress. You can file, call your accountant right on January 1st and be ready to go. So yeah, it's a virtual bookkeeping business for small businesses mainly. I mean, up to $1 million typically in revenue. So that can be, I consider that a large business, but I guess, startups all the way up to that is what I service. And yeah, so it's just a way to streamline your bookkeeping. So if your time is better spent somewhere else, you can hire this out and have accurate, timely, up to date books. And I did want to tell your audience, not that I'm selling myself or anything, but if they do use NewPoint Bookkeeping, I'll offer 30% off if they mention your name, 30% off for the first 3 months of bookkeeping.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Ashley Mulso with NewPoint Bookkeeping. Isn't she brilliant? I'm telling you what, from the receipts all the way down to the QuickBooks, all the way to having everything ready for your tax accountant, this will save so much money and so much headache because every month you've maintained your business, and that gives you an ongoing look at your business. And are you making money? Where's the money going? How are you spending it? What are you spending it on? And all of those things. So instead of just surprising yourself at tax time when you have that great big box of receipts, today is the day you take control of your business and you actually learn the bookkeeping end of it. Because like Ashley said, it's so easy. All right, with that, I'm going to leave you Ashley's information in the show notes so you can contact her, you can get in touch, you can learn more about QuickBooks and all of the other things that Ashley mentioned. If you found this helpful, please pass it on. If we've earned your subscription, please subscribe. And until we meet again, you've heard it, you know it, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.